Here's the other thing I did. At the Louisville event, I got more and more interested in intermittent fasting. I just saw a patient and wanted to share this. A very interesting case regarding what happened with the impact on OGTT from a few changes that he made. Here's what happened. The patient came to the Louisville event. These were the numbers that he had on his OGTT. His fasting specimen was 114. This is a patient that has significant known diabetes, and he's been following it for a while. His 1 hour specimen showed a blood sugar of 218. The fasting insulin, as you see here, was 9.3. He told me, I just touched base with him, it's about 3 weeks after the Louisville event, and he said, you know what, I did a few things. Number one, let me go back and explain what happened to my earlier tests. These are worse than normal. Usually they peak in the 180s. But I have to tell you, I did several things. Number one, this one was a little bit higher, I think, because of three things. Number one, I was traveling. Number two, I was missing a lot of sleep. And number three, I had an infection. I had something very similar to the flu. Here's the other thing I did. At the Louisville event, I got more and more interested in intermittent fasting. I cut my dinner meal. And so closed my window from about 12 hours down to about 4 or 5, breakfast in the morning, lunch in the afternoon, and then no dinner. Now, he was on low carb, and he said, I lost 2 kilograms, and I think that's clearly over 5 pounds, or maybe 5 pounds. He said, I lost it in a week, didn't mean to, really didn't want to. I'm going to be adding some oils and portion size back to my meals. But my peak was 130 compared to this 218. He said, now, be aware, I did not do this thing where you go back to 150 grams of carbs for the 3 days prior to that. So I realized I had monkeyed with my glucose metabolism. But given that last number, I wanted to see the other end. I wanted to see what happens with my glucose metabolism when I'm not eating carbs, when I didn't mean to lose weight, but I did, when I'm doing intermittent fasting. So I'm very excited to see and realize that that has such an impact. I've seen impacts before, but it wasn't usually that much of an impact. His fasting insulin, by the way, dropped from 9.5 down to about 4. I did ask him if he would mind if I shared his whole story, and yes, he did agree. One thing we're going to do is try to get that edited into a longer, clearer video. But I just wanted to get this out, to get that message out there while we were waiting on the edited one. Thank you very much for your interest. If you don't know this already, take it from me. You don't want to suffer a heart attack or a stroke. You don't want to hope for treatment after these have already happened. Heart attack's the #1 cause of death, still, and stroke is the #1 cause of permanent disability. And when we talk about that, we forget about the fact that it causes so much agony for your family. So why wait for a heart attack and stroke to happen when the knowledge and tools are there and they're available? If you're worried about the tests, the cost of tests, the consultations, the cost of that, I understand it shouldn't have to cost that much. Taking first steps for your health should not be that expensive. My name is Ford Brewer. I'm a board-certified preventive medicine doctor. I used to teach this at Johns Hopkins. I've taught hundreds of doctors in prevention. I've helped thousands of people avoid death and disability from heart attack and stroke. With the success of the Kentucky event this past November, we're motivated to spread the good news about heart attack stroke prevention. Join us on February 28th in Orlando, Florida for another heart attack and stroke prevention conference. For only $740, this is an excellent opportunity to have your CIMT and know the actual risk for cardiovascular health. Learn about plaque, inflammation, insulin resistance, and taking charge of your health in ways that you may not know. And that's not all. Sign up for the full package. You'll have more. Not only the necessary lab tests, but I will be your doc and Janice will be your health coach in moving forward and getting control of your health and preventing that heart attack or stroke. Believe me, heart attacks and strokes are optional. So register now and know your status before it's too late. See you in Orlando.